You know something is wrong when I load into Destiny and the first thing I do is click the tower, then click prophecy and launch. Like, that is how bad the muscle memory is ingrained in me. Anyhow, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the new trials format with objectives, and I was going to do some edit where I make somebody sound like they're complaining about the zone not being in the middle, but just know that someone clicked on this video, they're not going to pay attention to anything I say, and they're just going to type in the comments, "Man, this week of trials sucks. I really wish they moved the zone to the middle instead of giving the loser the advantage." Yes, we all know that. It's obvious. Okay, now with that being said, let's talk about the positives. The biggest positive is that Bungie is using Trials Labs to experiment and make the mode better. Yes, we had a good week, but what if it could be even better? What if it could mitigate population decline even more? And I'm glad they're experimenting to try to find out the best answer. But none of my feedback really matters until they decide what this mode is. I made a video on the identity of Trials, or rather, the lack of identity in Trials. And it's really up to Bungie to tell us what they're focusing in on. When it tries to be everything, it really becomes something for nobody. And it experiences that population decline really rapidly when that happens. It's a loot source. And RNG is crazy, so it's really hard to get the things you want. It hurts, but then again, there's another archetype of player who wants to have something endlessly to chase. There's a type of player who plays for the fun of an intense match, and there's the type of player that just wants to stomp. There's the type of player that sees a 5-0 and then quits Destiny. And that's what kind of brings us to today's video. Is it seems like these objective changes tried to appeal to both the competitive side and the side that quits on a 5-0 at the same time, and it ended up still being better than normal trials in my opinion. Maybe not to every skill level, but there's a lot that could be improved on it. Let's see, I am loading Wormhaven, Control. I figure on this one, if I'm talking about trials anyway, I might as well show you my opening route. I have been playing Attunement of Chaos, Lumina, Long Walk. I make a swap to Dead Man's Tale if I need to, and then I swap to Attunement of Grace if I need to. If there's enough Revenants on the enemy team, this is a meta call because the Well of Radiance dunks on Revenants. But I like this new objective mode because it brings a whole new meta. For example, I never thought Top Tree Voidwalker would be a meta pick, but with the expanded Vortex grenades, the overcharged ones, look at this. That thing's giant. If they put a barricade, 2 sets of glaciers, a glacier melee on a point, this will break through all of it, and you can shoot while it's going off to break them even faster. So you throw your grenade, then you shoot twice, then you switch to your snipe because it'll break by the time you finish the animation, and just shoot them in the face. It's been very nice. I've heard a lot of complaints about it being impossible to clutch in trials as well, and I think that's looking at it the wrong perspective if you want it to be a competitive playlist, because you should never really be able to 1v3 competent opponents, and if it's competitive, well, guess what? Your opponents are going to be competent. I loaded up this map so I can show you my opening routes. I use a scroll wheel to skate with my Warlock to activate all the burst glides at once, which helps me get better momentum off slopes. Now, you can still take this opening route without it, but it's going to be a lot of button mashing on the jump button. So what I'm trying to do is bounce off of slopes. So this slope, this slope. I'm picking somewhere on this horizontal line for this slope so that I ultimately end up right here to hit a burst glide and bounce off the ceiling, and then another one right here if I need to. Now, my routing entirely depends on whether or not I'm successful on those other slopes. If I'm slow, I usually rift up right here, and then I take a jump shot at this angle that they could be at the top, and I'm ready to snap aim down below or to the right. And what that'll do for me is that'll do a 189 body shot damage, and a lot of people do run high resilience now, which is great, but 189 damage is nothing to scoff at. As soon as you get that hit, you could fly up here, swing outward, and catch them running away. They pretty much have to have Bakris or burn a grenade or something to keep you away from cleaning up that kill. So that's my favorite opening route. If I'm on the fast lane though, that was if I'm slow. If I'm on the fast lane, I like to put my rift right here. But I will only commit to this animation if I have a teammate peeking at the same time, because sometimes they have a snipe set up on this angle. So if I'm confident that they have a snipe set up on this angle, my rift goes right here, and then I'm playing for jumpers right here. Okay, so let's go see if I can get the skate route going. If I scroll skate up a slope, it will slingshot me. And on the other side of the map, that's really useful for getting behind the objective. Okay, so we got our spawn. Slope bounce. Slope bounce. Ultimately end up at the bottom. And I missed it a little bit, so this would be one of the slow ones. That goes in. And let's keep going. Since the objective spawns with only 30 seconds to make it across the map, which actually sounds really terrible on something like Widow's Court, your opening route matters a lot. This one's definitely bad, but let's see if I get this one. Nope. Definitely not it. But every millisecond matters when it's going across the map. That's all I'm trying to say. A little bit better. Nah, worse. Couldn't quite get through. Transversive steps obviously makes this a lot easier. And I also, you know, play like hundreds of matches, right? So I get used to where I'm spawning, and over the course of like 3 matches, I iron it out. So I need to start that a little later. Let's see. Slope. Slope. There we go. That's the speed I needed. Now out, tell a teammate to peek. Rift goes up, and now I can see their toes. Right on the point. So this is my power position. I look for their toes. I look to see if they set up a fortress. I look to see if, like, on a slight jumper, I can see a barricade or a rift set up right there because of the haze of the rift. Then I will take my shot. I'll try to break a barricade. I'll cook a grenade. I'll move right around here, and the cook grenade goes on the point. And look at how much that does. Like, this is amazing. And then look at my grenade recharge rate. I'm on 10 discipline. And so now that that pushes them off the point, I can fly up here, set a rift if I need it, and then just look for some chip damage while my teammates get angles. And the strongest thing you can do if you're going to be camping is set up like a stag rift or a barricade right here, and a stag rift or a barricade right here. And what's going to happen is enemy team is looking for angles. They're looking for chip damage, and when they get enough chip damage, they'll call to fly in. If you are in this position, what you want to do is rotate to this wall so you can get an angle helping your stag person not get collapsed by a shotgunner. Something that I've been experimenting with that I want to see work is to get an invis player to start the invis roll about right here and then start working behind the enemy team, and then you get a simultaneous collapse. Just clamber up, because if you don't use an ability jump, you're off radar. And as long as you time it out perfectly, I don't really think the enemy team can do much. I don't like the zones being in the spawn. No one really does, but if it prevents 5-0s and mitigates population decline, and it still feels better than regular trials to me, well then, there's no complaint. Last thing to show you is the slopes on this side to slingshot your Warlock forward. They really can't do anything about that speed if you catch the right slope. Sometimes it will like straight kill you across the wall. It's so fast. That one looked better. That one's even better. And so you've cleared this much room. If there's like an Arc Strider or a Smash that's trying to super you while you're standing on that zone, use your slopes, slingshot out, and then just wait for them to run out. They'll sit on the point, right? Like they're gonna do something. So again, you have an overcharge grenade, just throw it on, tell your teammate to use their ability, and watch them burn. My favorite part about this objective trials is that your abilities matter a lot more. Normally in these mid fights, people toss every grenade that they own and don't think 20 seconds in advance. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use my rift to build some noble rounds, buff my teammates, we take our neutral fight, and then if we're winning the neutral fight, the enemy team might back up into the flag. It's always better to push up than to set up a fortress in your flag, because then you got 2 chances. And let's say we lose our neutral. Now we have to chase them when they now set up their fortress. And all I'm going to do is throw my overcharge grenade and start looking for chip damage. So now let's pretend I lost a round. Zone's on my side. First thing I want to do is hit my opening route so that I can get to a good sniper position early. Say I'm late, goes up, look for my jumper, build my Nova round, let my teammates know I don't have an angle to help them up on mid, buff a teammate while now I wrap around with my big sniper rifle. And if we get no kill at all, and the enemy team refuses to move from power positions in mid, from stag rifts, from glacier nades, especially if they use their glacier grenade. If I see an enemy team throw 2 or 3 glacier grenades in the first 10 seconds of fighting in mid, I'll just tell my team to back up. Then we stand on the zone. Our intent isn't to fully cap it, it's to make them come to us. So what we do is we get it to about that percent, step off, start putting in some meaningful chip damage, make them back up, our fortress goes up, and we just finish it out before they have any realistic way to stop us. And if we're playing a good team, the rounds go back and forth, and then it comes to supers, which is why I have been enjoying Top Tree Voidwalker. Bubbles are a popular strat. I didn't see them that much, but it seems like Twitter really thinks bubbles, stag rifts, and glacier nades are everything. And I don't expect my Nova Bomb to get any kills. It's just there to cancel a bubble if someone happens to have a bubble. And I like the nade. So what I'll do is, if they're on point, I'll just chunk this bitch, and then I will start getting angles while they run away, right? My teammates will push in. And since it pushes them back into a corner, this is our flag now. Even if they have a super to counter, it's still worth using the Nova Bomb just to get them out of the way. This is why I like the objective, though. It gives you a lot more options, and it makes people move. It makes the game engaging. I can have 5-minute matches, which is nuts, because previously I could play a bad team and they can intentionally fortress up. And if my team is impatient and slightly out of sync, we just fucking lose. And it takes an entire 2 minutes to get to that. I guess a minute and a half now to get to that endpoint. And think about your super energy. I have very low intellect, but that's only 2 or 3 rounds, and I'm guaranteed to deal with supers. With this current, and by the way, supers are really RNG for super versus super fights. It really sucks to deal with. But of course, if you're a bad player going against a good player, you want to take the dice roll because that improves your chances of winning. So that's why these teams camp in the back of the map, and every match round takes a minute and 30 seconds or more because of the zone cap. And so this is why Wormhaven is my favorite map. This is why I've learned all these weird sniper angles on it. It's because if you race to mid in normal trials and have mid control, the zone pops up in mid, and if they camp in the back, they get punished because we already have the zone. I like that objective trials skips the minute and 30 seconds of waiting. It just says, all right, 30 seconds till zone, and it's going to take you 30 seconds to even get set up on it. So yeah, matches can be over in less than 5 minutes, and that's crazy to me, considering that against a bad team, a match can take as long as 15 minutes. That's not okay. But then again, I guess 5-0ing teams all day and having them quit is also not okay. Bungie, please tell us what you want Trials of Osiris to be. I think I'm done rambling in this video. I hope you learned something new, and I hope that what I said made sense. This wasn't scripted at all. I just wanted to get it out there because, yeah, a lot of people are really mad on Twitter and not thinking of the big picture. Bungie needs to keep experimenting with this, and we will get a amazing version of Trials. Maybe even then they might scrap this idea and make an amazing comp playlist, and then make Trials Weenie Hut Juniors, and the population will be high forever. That's also cool with me. Regardless, let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you everybody for watching the video. Take care.